23rd of July this year, 35-year-old Husto Smoker of Pennsylvania pleaded guilty to brutally murdering 18-year-old Amish woman Linda Stolfus of 519 Beechdale Road, Bird in Hand, Pennsylvania. At around noon on Sunday the 21st of June last year, he kidnapped her around half a mile from her home and murdered her. Linda was last seen walking home from the church to change into something else for a youth group meeting. The incident unfolded when Husto, who was driving in his red Kia car, spotted Linda on the other side of the road. He pulled over and got out and crossed the road when she walked by. He then grabbed her, placed her in his small car and drove away, unaware that a neighbour's doorbell camera captured them from about 300 yards away. Husto grabbed Linda from behind and choked her with his arm under her neck and then with shoelaces until she was no longer breathing. He then stabbed her in the neck to ensure that she was dead. He removed her bra and stockings, and later during an autopsy, there was evidence that Linda also suffered from injuries to her private area. Within hours, he buried her body in a rural part of Ronks, behind a building at the 3000 block of Harvest Drive, and then drove home and cleaned his car. Linda was reported missing to the authorities the following day, and an extensive search began for her. After learning on the news that Linda's family lived close by, Husto became concerned that somebody might find her remains, so he returned to the burial site. He brought a plastic tarp, duct tape, and other items with him. He moved her body to a wooded site behind a concrete plant business called Dutchland Inc. where he worked, located along 160 State Road 41 in Gap. He buried her alongside railway tracks, where he dug a hole 3.5 feet into the ground to bury her. Husto discarded the clothes and shoes he wore the day he killed her, and the day he exhumed her body. He also threw away the shovel and knife he used. He didn't realise that he left her stockings and bra in the original burial site. Police later found them and detected his DNA on her stockings. Husto was arrested and charged with kidnapping on the 10th of July last year. This was upgraded to murder on the 21st of December. On the 22nd of April this year, Husto entered a plea deal which spared him of the death penalty. He led the authorities to Linda's buried body, located next to the railway tracks behind the concrete plant. When they unearthed her body, she was found dressed in an Amish outfit and cap. Both hands were bound behind her back with shoelaces and zip ties. Her feet were also bound with 3 zip ties around her ankles. A thin rope connected her limbs and was wrapped around her neck. An apron and sash was tied around her face, with duct tape covering her lips from cheek to cheek. There was blood in her esophagus, indicating she was still alive when Husto stabbed her in the neck. Her body was decomposed, so officials had to use dental records to confirm her identity. During the course of the investigation, multiple witnesses interviewed by police said they saw an Amish woman sitting in the passenger seat of a red Kia sedan with a man resembling Husto behind the wheel. Other Amish females described a man in a red car stalking them a day before the kidnapping. Husto's cell phone left a digital footprint showing he was in the location at the time. Other cell phone data indicates that Husto travelled to the area where the stockings and bra were found buried. A vehicle which looked like Husto's Kia was seen by a witness who photographed the vehicle. Police later determined that the vehicle's registration linked it to Husto. A witness in Husto confirmed online he cleaned his car the day Linda was last seen. Authorities also found an open bottle of bleach in Husto's car. In court, Husto told of how he was in a dark place at the time he killed Linda and that he had been drinking heavily. He said he was suffering from depression and that his sister died in jail and he was evicted from home the week before the killing. The judge said that's not an excuse for killing Linda, and Husto agreed. Husto did not offer a motive in the crime, saying that he knew better and apologised to Linda's family. Having avoided the death penalty, Husto now faces the prospect of life in prison. A Kentucky couple were arrested on Thursday afternoon on the 22nd of July after being charged with criminal abuse. The incidents allegedly occurred on the 13th and 14th of July, located at the home in North Iris Drive in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. The local police reported that during those days, 25-year-old Jessica Maddock hit a 5- and 6-year-old with a wooden spoon, causing severe bruising to each child. Maddock's boyfriend, 26-year-old Donnie Freeman, was also arrested after he reportedly struck the young children with his hand, causing serious physical injury. The authorities also said that Jessica admitted that she spanked the kids with a wooden spoon as a form of discipline. The children reportedly told social workers what happened, and photos were taken of bruising of their buttocks and legs. Both Jessica and Donnie were charged with first-degree criminal abuse.